Coming up, find out why Washington representative is suggesting schools return this summer instead of the spring. Plus, after being closed all last week, the Benton County Fairgrounds massive vaccination site is set to reopen for people receiving their second dose. Good Morning Northwest continues right now.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Neil Fischer. Chief Meteorologist Kristin is with us, and we've been talking about that wind all morning. What's it looking like out there?
Yes, some of those wind gusts this morning have been close to 50 miles per hour. Certainly keeping me up a lot last night. So let's get you started first this morning with that live look. This is in downtown Yakima. We actually have some calm winds for you this morning. So we really haven't seen much of an increase for those winds, but there's that wind advisory in place for parts of the Columbia Basin into the foothills. That actually goes until 4 a.m. Tuesday. Again, some of those gusts can be as high as 50 miles per hour. So as we get you over to where we have some gusts out there, 48 in Dayton, 38 in the Tri-Cities, and then a gust up to about 23 miles per hour in Prosser. But it is actually ushering in some fairly mild temperatures this morning, upper 40s and low 50s across the area. Dry and locally just mostly cloudy right now, but we have some rain and mountain snow showers that continue again through the Cascades and also the eastern slopes. So we will have a slight chance for maybe a shower or two to pop up this afternoon with that high temperature of 58 degrees. So have a look at just how long those winds are expected to stick around in that work week forecast. Your full forecast, Neil, it's all coming up.
Thank you, Kristin. Washington Governor Jay Inslee has signed a bill that allocates $2.2 billion in federal COVID-19 relief money. The measure received strong bipartisan support in the House and Senate this month. It spends money in various areas, including vaccine administration, rental assistance, and money for school districts as they move back toward in-classroom teaching. Under the bill, $714 million will be allocated to schools as they welcome students back to the classroom. An additional $618 million will go toward vaccine administration, contact tracing, and testing. And $365 million will go toward rental assistance to help renters and landlords affected by the pandemic. Officials from the Benton County Fairgrounds mass vaccination site confirm that vaccine doses are on their way after extreme weather delayed this week's shipments. Many locals were gearing up for their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine last week, but the site was forced to cancel operations when they were told the shipments wouldn't arrive in time. Officials have been rescheduling appointments to ensure that everyone is properly vaccinated this week. The Benton County Fairgrounds will reopen to the public on Tuesday, February 23rd, and will remain open until midday Saturday, February 27th. The regular hours are from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Walla Walla County officials say they have plans to give out 3,000 first dose vaccines today and yesterday. While some vaccination sites around the country had vaccine shipments delayed due to the historic snowstorms, Walla Walla County says they received their full Pfizer vaccine amount. On Friday afternoon, there were still about 1,000 appointments available for eligible residents. Be sure to check your eligibility on the Phase Finder website before you sign up. After nearly 1 year, Walla Walla High School coaches and athletes are allowed to compete again after Washington moved to Phase 2. The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association has created strict rules to limit attendance at high school games in accordance with COVID-19 guidelines. But all the home varsity games will be streamed online for the public. High school sports include football, slow pitch softball, cross country, girls soccer, and volleyball. A full slate of games is scheduled to start next week. In Yakima, local businesses are reopening under Phase 2 of the Healthy Washington Roadmap to Recovery Plan, and many are seeking assistance with finances or information on reopening. We put together a list of current loan offerings, free PPE giveaways, and other resources for local businesses. Just go to yaktranews.com to see the full list. A Washington senator is suggesting eliminating school children's summer vacation. Representative Brad Hawkins released a statement announcing his idea of revamping the traditional school schedule that's been followed for decades. Considering the entire fall term was conducted virtually due to COVID-19 pandemic, Hawkins wants the state to consider full in-person instruction at schools ahead of the 2021-22 school year. By doing this, Hawkins hopes to preserve the traditional 180-day school year model and provide a fresh start for the next year. He also says putting children back in schools this summer instead of the spring allows more time to get teachers and school faculty fully vaccinated against the virus. This brings us to our poll question of the day. Do you support putting children back in schools in the summer instead of the spring? Vote now at yaktrynews.com/vote, and we'll have the results at the end of the show. The director of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says schools can open no matter how much coronavirus is spreading in the community. A CNN analysis found that about 90% of children live in so-called red zones under the CDC's guidance. Despite that, Dr. Rochelle Walensky says there are opportunities for in-person learning at all stages. According to previous CDC guidance, schools can reopen if they are mitigating the risk of COVID-19 with masks, 6 feet of social distance, frequent cleanings, testing, and contact tracing. A new study is looking at the side effects some people have had after receiving a COVID-19 vaccine. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control conducted the study. Researchers say less than 10% of bad reactions to the vaccines were serious. They looked at both the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines. The most common symptoms people reported were headaches, fatigue, and dizziness. Researchers noted there's no evidence to suggest any causal relationship between COVID-19 vaccination and death. Health officials across the U.S. have now given out about 63 million COVID-19 vaccine doses. The CDC released the new data Sunday. The 63 million doses are ones that have been administered, which is about 83% of the more than 75 million doses distributed. The CDC also says about 43.5 million people have now received at least one dose of the vaccine, and nearly 19 million people have been fully vaccinated. Apple just launched its iPhones with 5G wireless speeds a few months ago, but it's already working on 6G. It's believed that when 6G becomes available, it could enable speeds of up to 100 times faster than 5G. Apple posted job ads seeking engineers in its Silicon Valley and San Diego offices, which focus on advanced wireless technology. While 6G is not likely to be implemented until 2030, Apple appears to want to be at the forefront in the next major advancement in network speed. Apple has yet to add 5G capability to devices like the Apple Watch and iPad, and still sells iPhones that use older 4G technology. It's a seller's market in the real estate industry, and any would-be homebuyer out there needs to act fast. Homes are selling in half the time they did a year ago. Meanwhile, existing sales continue to increase and up to 24% from a year ago. In December, the supply of unsold homes was at the lowest level since the National Association of Realtors started tracking inventory in 1982. As of the end of January, housing inventory was 26% lower than last year's number. The lack of available inventory continues to push prices higher, leading to the median sales price increasing 14% over a year ago. At 6:06, let's take a quick break here on Good Morning Northwest. Before we do, Kristin, how's it looking out there?
And it's certainly a breezy start early this morning. Wind advisory is in effect. A look at how long these winds will be sticking around. A look at your work week forecast. It's all coming up.
Plus, queso lovers beware. Some of your favorite products could be recalled due to a possible health risk. Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Kroger says it was among the multiple victims of a data breach involving a third-party vendor's file transfer service. It says it is notifying potentially impacted customers and offering them free credit monitoring. The Cincinnati-based grocery and pharmacy chain said in a statement that it believes less than 1% of its customers were affected, as well as some current and former employees, because a number of personnel records were apparently viewed. Kroger said it was among victims of the December hack of a file transfer product from Excellion, a California-based company. El Abuelito is recalling all its fresh soft cheese products, which sell by dates through March 28th. The products could be contaminated with listeria, a bacteria that can cause symptoms such as high fever, headache, and abdominal pain. As of February 11th, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention had reported 7 people infected with the outbreak strain of listeria in 4 states. But they are still investigating, and at this time, there's not enough evidence to link the outbreak to El Abuelita Hispanic cheeses. If you have any queso fresco products in your fridge, don't eat them. Return them to the store for a refund. Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, some good news regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Officials are saying cases across the U.S. are falling. We have the details after the break. Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. There's been some encouraging news regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Trends of the potentially fatal virus are falling, but health officials stress the battle is far from over and remind the public to remain vigilant. John Lawrence reports.
More than a year after the first known coronavirus-related death in the U.S., the country is about to reach a grim milestone.
It's nothing like we've ever been through in the last 102 years since the 1918 influenza pandemic.
The U.S. death toll from COVID-19 is expected to pass the 500,000 mark within the next few days, and the latest forecast from the University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation predicts another 91,000 COVID-19 deaths by June 1st.
And that's the reason why we keep insisting to continue with the public health measures, because we don't want this to get much worse than it already is.
In addition to masking and keeping distance from others, Americans are also advised to get COVID-19 vaccinations as soon as possible.
We have a real chance with these vaccines of turning COVID-19 from the deadly disease that it currently is into something like a bad cold or the flu if people are vaccinated.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 18 million people in the U.S. are fully vaccinated.
That's what will give us back our lives and our economy and our kids getting back to school.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says mask wearing may still be necessary in 2022. Today, President Joe Biden will hold a moment of silence and light a candle for 500,000 Americans who have died of COVID-19. The grim milestone of 500,000 deaths from coronavirus is expected to arrive today. First Lady Jill Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff are also scheduled to take part. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says Biden wants to use his own voice and platform to take a moment to remember the people whose lives have been lost. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has helped raise nearly $5 million so far to help Texans hit hard by winter storms. The New York Democrat joined some fellow lawmakers in Houston Saturday to tour damage and distribute supplies. Millions of Texas residents have lost power and water over the past few days due to extreme cold, ice, and snow. President Joe Biden approved a major disaster declaration for the state, which allows FEMA to bring in more resources. Residents of Houston no longer need to boil their water before drinking it. The city of Houston has had a boil water notice in effect since Wednesday. Historic freezing temperatures in Houston caused water pressure to drop throughout the city, affecting the quality of tap water. It's recommended Houston residents should flush their water system by running cold water faucets for at least 1 minute before using. Automatic ice makers need to be cleaned out and run through a couple of cycles before consumers should use the ice again. Lab results have also determined it is safe to lift the boil water notice in Galveston as well.
Now, Cap KVU First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristin Walls.
And those winds were certainly howling overnight last night. We have a wind advisory, which is in effect all day long today. That goes until 4 a.m. on Tuesday through the majority of the area. We could actually have some wind gusts as high as 50 miles per hour during that time frame. And waking up this morning, there are a few spots with some of those wind gusts that high. But currently, sustained winds in the Tri-Cities 24, 15 in Walla Walla, Pullman this morning at 26. And then some actual lighter winds, at least 4 now in the Yakima and the Kittitas Valley. Although your winds are also expected to pick up for today as well, as the frontal system will eventually be working through. But some of our wind gusts right now, 36 in the Tri-Cities, a 28-mile-per-hour wind gust in Walla Walla, and then up to close to 50 miles per hour in Dayton early this morning. So we will continue to see this through the majority of the day today. But bringing in some mild temperatures this morning with 51 in the Tri-Cities. Connell, good morning to you. You're at 42, 46 in Walla Walla. 50 degrees in Toppenish, and then 46 early this morning in Yakima. Dry here locally. Might see a few peaks of some sunshine throughout the day today. We have some rain showers up into the mountains. Snow levels continue to rise. So eventually later this evening and tonight we'll have those snow levels drop as a frontal system makes its way through. And with that, we have a winter weather advisory in place starting at 4 o'clock today until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. 5 to 10 inches expected above 3,000 feet in the northern blues. Winter weather advisory in place above 3,000 feet for the eastern slopes, 5 to 11 inches there. And then a winter storm warning in effect for the Cascades as well, including Snoqualmie Pass 8 to 24 inches during that time frame of some snowfall. Now, we still have an avalanche warning in place until 6 p.m. today for the eastern slopes of the Cascades, and we're keeping a close eye on those mountain passes. A lot of them still continue to remain closed because of that extreme and high avalanche danger, which is in place. And again, those snow levels continue to rise. So there's your current mountain pass conditions right now. Snoqualmie, White Pass, and Stevens Pass are all closed. They're looking to reevaluate all three of those early this morning. No estimated time yet on when they're going to reopen. And then Manassas just looking at that partly cloudy sky with no travel restrictions. So we'll continue to keep you posted on when a lot of these will reopen today. So Futurecast, as we take you throughout this afternoon, we could see a slight chance for maybe a shower or two to pop up, especially here along the eastern or along the foothills of the Blues. Tuesday morning, we will have a little bit of some sun, maybe a shower or two popping up towards the afternoon. And then Wednesday, enjoying a day with a mostly sunny sky and lighter winds as well. This afternoon, 58 for Toppenish into Yakima, 57 today in the Tri-Cities with 60 degrees in Hermiston, 56 in Pendleton, 55 in Walla Walla. So tonight, just going to be another breezy night, partly cloudy as numbers fall through the 30s. So your 7-day forecast will have a lot more sun, again, lighter winds on Wednesday, more wind though is expected on Thursday, maybe a stray shower, a lot of sun over the upcoming weekend. And then that 7-day forecast for Yakima, maybe a stray shower or two tomorrow, breezy, and then back to mostly sunny sky Wednesday at 46.
Thank you, Kristen. At 6:20, we're going to take a quick break here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up, will Gonzaga keep its perfect season alive with a win over San Diego? We have the highlights, your sports news next. Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Over the weekend, the #1 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs continued to flex their muscles against the West Coast Conference with a 106-69 win over San Diego Saturday night. Star player Drew Timme had another extremely efficient night, finishing with 21 points and 8 rebounds. He only took 8 shots during the game. 3 other players on the Bulldogs also finished with double-digit points. With the win, Gonzaga improves to 22-0 on the season. Next up, just 2 games remaining next week, both at home. The Zags will host Santa Clara Thursday at 4 p.m. The NHL didn't allow fans in Lake Tahoe to attend their outdoor games this weekend, but that didn't stop fans on Lake Tahoe from watching. A fleet of kayaks and boats gathered on Saturday to watch the Colorado Avalanche play the Vegas Golden Knights at Edgewood Tahoe Resort. On Sunday, the number of sea craft tripled in size. There were a dozen boats flying flags for the Philadelphia Flyers and the Boston Bruins, as well as 22 kayaks and 2 paddle boats that lingered near the shore. Now we take a look at our picture of the day, right, Kristen?
This is our reason to smile. So we had, of course, a whole lot of snowfall, and you're probably seeing scenes like this around our area. A lot of people trying to get out, attempting to either ski or snowboard in just all the snow that we had. So this is Robert just skiing through the neighborhood. No big deal.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah, so thank you to Amanda Collins for submitting this, especially since a lot of our snow is already out of here. It's melting pretty quickly. Now, if you have one that you would love to share, your reason to smile, you can head over to yaktrinews.com. At the very top there, we have a photos of the day section to submit your photos.
Be sure to do that. Great picture there. Coming up, we have an update on those past conditions this morning, as many have been shut down due to avalanche dangers.
And at 6:25, as they're taking a live look outside right now, certainly those winds picking up this morning. A look at how long they're expected to last, and could we see any rain showers as we start off your work week? Your full forecast during the 6:30 half hour.